guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. We are here for another one of our Tidy Fridays, and today I'm over here by my the end, so not really kind of where my normal craft area is, but I have a shelf right down the end of our room, because obviously the whole room is not my craft area, but this shelf contains, as you can see, a whole bunch of all sorts of things. But really, obviously, this is a bookshelf, and I would really like to kind of get this area a little bit cleared here so that I can put, that pile of books onto the shelf, which is, going to be much easier and make life much easier. So I have got this box here. If I just show you, just one of those kind of storage boxes. I got mine from HomeSense. I've had it for a long time. It did have lace in it previously, but I've emptied it out now. You'll have to excuse the drilling, I'm afraid. They're doing something outside and it's really loud, so I do apologise. And yeah, what I'm going to do is actually transfer, because most of these folders actually contain card making stuff, card making supplies. So I'm going to transfer all of the card making things. I know that I've talked before about having a card making box or something, or pack or something. Well, as you can imagine, it's just ever growing, and all of this is also card making stuff. Well, I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know whether it's all card making stuff, but I'll have a look through, and I'm just going to kind of chuck things into this box that are to do with card making, and hopefully get rid of some stuff as well. So I think what I'm going to do is take some of these folders over to my desk, sort of a couple at a time, and we'll go through them. And hopefully the noise won't be so bad there as well, because I'm not going to then be near the window. So, okay, so first up, I've got these couple of envelopes, which actually, these are just sentiments and things that I have printed off, made myself and printed off a long time ago, but they're just coming really, really handy for making cards. So I'm going to keep all of those in the envelope, because then I know exactly what's in there. And then similarly, this envelope also, it's got some things like printed cards and things like that for mainly men's cards, which I do really struggle with. So I'm going to just put these at the bottom of that big box. And then I know that that's what those envelopes are. Now this, I think maybe I actually filled this during another Tidy Friday, is lots of things for making predominantly boys cards, really. Again, just, boys type images and things like that. I mean, I would just throw this, but to be honest, I do still often need to buy, make boys cards. So I'm just going to put this into that box as well. Again, just keeping it in that packet, I think, for the moment. And then if I just pull in. So, right, here are a load of stamped images and things, which, obviously I stamped them, a long time ago. Oh, and then I've also got all these little alpha. They're kind of like chipboards. I mean, just finished chipboard. But again, from my scrapbooking days, really. I've got these big letters, which I, probably won't use those, definitely. Possibly I would use the smaller letters. I'm not sure I'm in frame. Hold on. Possibly I would use these smaller letters. Yeah, it's hard to say, to be honest. So, I mean, these are obviously taking up a lot of space, being stored in this particular way. So I think what I'm going to do is take all of the stamped images out for a start, because, I definitely don't need them all in here taking up all of that room. I might just keep one or two that I'm still likely to use. So I probably won't use these. Okay. So I'm just going to put the ones that I'm not likely to use, I will put in a pile behind me, ready to donate again to the school, because, obviously the kids can all just use things like this, can't they, from time to time. So lots of little bits and pieces there. Oh, aren't they sweet? But super cute, aren't they? So I'm just going to put those in a pile for the school. Oops, a little flower just left in that packet, so again that can go just to the school. Okie dokie. And then these as well, I'll just again take all of those out. Yep, they can probably all just go to the school as well. I mean, there's some really super cute images there. I'm not sure, you know, maybe I will just keep one of a couple of those. But yeah, I mean, on the whole, they can probably all go to the school. I mean, again, because, you know, I mean, I don't hugely make lots of cards now. And when I do, to be honest, I'm not sure that these would be the images that I would use. You know, so maybe just keeping one just in case is kind of a good idea. But I don't think I certainly need all this, you know, huge bunch of stamped images. So, but rather than throw them away, I will, you know, donate them. So, I mean, I guess, to be honest, what I could do is, I mean, how cute is that? Really, really sweet, isn't it? Wow, and I've even actually gone to the trouble of cutting that out with a craft knife. Perhaps I had best keep that. Yeah, perhaps I'd best keep that, because I've obviously gone to a lot of trouble for that one. Perhaps what I should do is actually donate these, you know, when I send out journals and what have you. Maybe just kind of send some of these out with journals. I mean, I don't know how, you know, how useful any of these things would be really to people. You know, they may be just completely kind of not really of any use, in which case I'm better off sending them to the school really. But let me know below what you think, whether you think that these might be of, you know, of interest to some of you guys, or whether you think just give them to the school. You know, I mean, you won't offend me either way. I don't mind. But I mean, obviously I'm aware that some people are building up their stash, and you know, we don't all use the same things obviously in our journals. So just going to keep a couple of those because, you know, girly cards, that's quite handy. Yeah, we don't always use the same things. Oh look, they've even got these little monster things that I've coloured in at some point. They're kind of cute, aren't they? Perhaps I'll just keep those. A couple of shoes. Probably won't use that one, but that one's quite nice. Oh, I've got another one of those. Yeah, let me know what you think below. Obviously, you won't offend me at all if you say no. But, you know, I am aware that sort of not everybody has got lots of supplies yet. And if you're building up your supplies, then maybe these things would be of use. So I'm going to put these into my card making box, but literally just loose in there so that I can rummage around. Now, I've got a little pot here. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be big enough to hold all of these letters, but I'm going to attempt to just mix the letters in. Now, these are probably, you know, this is probably going to be a huge mistake. Well, to be honest, it probably is going to be a huge mistake. So now I'm thinking... Right, I think that is a mistake. So what I'm going to do is I've got these little plastic containers. So perhaps I will put them in there because although, I mean, I don't know how many containers there are. 1, 2, 3, oops, sorry, not looking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15, 16, 17. And this kind of big one is one of them. So I will be able to kind of mix some letters up in here. Again, how the letters will be mixed up, I'm not really too sure what would be. Oh, well, they may just get mixed up while I'm putting them in here. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, I just dropped in a load that then went into the other box. So let's just put all of these in here. And then hopefully, you know, I could just kind of stack these somewhere. I mean, I won't be obviously pulling these in constantly or using them very often, but at least then I have still got them, because these are the types of things that, you know, just from time to time, maybe I would quite like to have some of these types of things. So I don't necessarily want to chuck these out. I'm thinking, I don't know, when you make a canvas or something, maybe these are quite handy, things like that. So I don't necessarily want to actually just do away with them. Oops. Yeah, so maybe I will mix up things like the, you know, the X and the Z and all of those kinds of letters. Maybe the Q, because, I mean, they probably don't need a whole thing to themselves, do they? Okay. you know, I won't be accessing them very often. And there's probably not a whole bunch of those anyway. Okay, let's do the E's. Yeah, I mean, I had these little containers left over, obviously, from some of the previous weeks where I've taken things out of these containers. So, you know, things that I actually thought I want more regular access to, I've now taken out from these and put where they're slightly more easily accessible. But these letters, obviously, because I'm not going to be using them like on a regular basis, hopefully they would be okay in here. I mean, it's all just trial and error, and, you know, as I've kind of tried to say kind of, you know, in the past, you know, if I have to kind of rearrange things at a later date. So I'm just going to put these to, again, donate either to the school or in with kind of things that people buy. Yeah, if I have to rearrange things at a later date because I think, well, actually that's not really worked out, or, you know, I could make better use of that. I'm going to merge the F and the G because, again, they're not really letters that I'm going to be using a great deal. Then obviously I can revisit and, you know, come up with something different to do. I mean, I'm trying to get this container off of the shelf. Not container, sorry, the file folder, you know, these, what are they called? You know, files. Trying to get them off of the shelf. So that's my kind of main driver. But I'm not claiming to be, you know, coming up with a sort of fantastic idea here. This is just a first stab that will hopefully help to get things a little bit better organised. And then, you know, if I need to come back another time, then I can come back another time. So I've got some J's here. So again, I mean, J isn't hugely used, is it? So perhaps I could mix the J and the K or something like that. So, okay. And actually, I know that lots of you have got this brilliant system going where if you haven't used things within 6 months, get rid of it, you know, because you're not then going to use it. And that's such an awesome system. And to be honest, I've heard people say that they use things like that with their clothes as well, that if they haven't worn it within, you know, 6 months, they just, you know, they do away with it. And oops, I've put those in the wrong container now. Too busy chatting. They put them in, you know, they get rid of them because they think, well, I haven't worn them for 6 months, you know, I'm not going to. I wish that I could be that disciplined. Oh, I really, really do, because it would make my house so much more organised. I mean, don't get me wrong, my house doesn't look like my craft area, thankfully. But having said that, probably several of my cupboards do. So, yeah, I mean, that's a really brilliant kind of way to look at it, is if I haven't used it, you know, within those 6 months, get rid of it. I don't know whether I would be strong enough to do that, to be fair, but I would like to. So, I mean, perhaps what I should even do is go a step further and actually mark these with a date that I put them into the cupboard. And then, you know, it will probably be years before I actually come across them again. And then when I do, I'll think, oh, you know, I haven't even looked at those for the last, I don't know, 3 years. So clearly I'm not using those, am I? I mean, that just sounds all far too organised, doesn't it? But that would probably be a really good way of doing it, wouldn't it? To, you know, actually get rid of some things and not hoard them. But again, I mean, I'm just not really that type of person. I'm not going to be organised enough to actually label it and what have you, because, yeah, I think you're either that type of person or you're not. And to be honest, I'm just not. So I know I've said before, but I am just so awful with things like that. You know, I don't have a calendar. I don't, you know, and subsequently, you know, I mean, I missed a really, something I was looking forward to this week, and I was really gutted to miss it because actually I had been really looking forward to it. And totally my own fault. You know, high time I start using a calendar, to be honest. I actually thought it was on, you know, a different day to when it actually was. But, you know, if I had a calendar, obviously that wouldn't have happened. But I'm just, yeah, I'm just not that person, you know, who is very organised and, you know, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to have to probably mix now something else. So I'm now thinking, I've got, what have I got here? P's and Q's, have I? P's and Q's. Oh, I don't know now. I knew this was going to happen. Well, perhaps what I should do... Oh, I can't be bothered to actually move them all back. So I think what I'm going to do is I will just have to mix the S and the T's, which is annoying because, I mean, obviously I will be using them quite a bit. Well, if I ever use these again. Like I say, I probably won't even ever use them again, but we'll see. Right, so then I've got the U's, which again, what I might do now is put all of the others into that big section that's on the side. So all of my, you know, the U, the V, W, X, Y, Z, put them all kind of in that side bit. So, oh gosh, come on. Struggling to pick them all up. Okay. Okie dokie. This is going to be a slow process, isn't it? You've probably all switched off by now because, you know, this is only my first file. So, yeah, perhaps I should speed through this because I'm sure that you don't all probably want to sit here watching every single little thing. I mean, I keep the camera rolling because, you know, you never know what's going to be of interest to people. And sometimes I know that, you know, I do quite like watching and seeing what people have because I then get ideas for maybe what I would like to buy or, you know, products to look for or, you know, kind of, I don't know, using something I have that's similar and I think, oh, I could use that for, you know, this or that. So, I mean, just sometimes it's quite nice to, you know, check what other people have as well, isn't it? Right. Okay, I've become quite scrappy in my ways, as you can probably see, and actually left letters in there, but again, I'm not too worried. Right, here I've got numbers and punctuation marks. So I'm now thinking I should have actually left this big section for those. Wonder if I should mix the... I don't know now. Well, perhaps what I'll do, leave that like that. So I'll just put that to one side and then pull in my little pot that I was going to use for the letters and put all my punctuation marks and my numbers all in there. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting messier and messier, honestly. I mean, it started out slightly messy, now it's just like everything everywhere. And this is just how it goes, isn't it? Right, there we go. And then the numbers as well. And that way, you know, if I wanted to use, for instance, you know, a number on a tag or something like that. Oh, what's this? Oops. Just a sticker in there. Right, let's just take all of these out. Okay, right, okay. Oh, squash them in, squash them in, squash them in. Wow, I never would have fitted all those letters in, would I? That was, you know, a bit over-ambitious to think that I was going to squash all the letters into this little container, wasn't it? So now this container just stays really behind my desk. So again, I might decide that's a really, you know, over waste of space to have these numbers that I will probably hardly ever use behind my desk. So I may want to transfer them into a different container or certainly put the container somewhere else. So again, this is just my first, you know, first stab really. Right, so what I'm going to do is just move this to one side. Now what I'll probably do is get rid of the file, but keep the pockets which are still in good order because, you know, they're really handy to have. So that's the first one down. Right, second one down, and I will try and speed up a little bit because, my gosh, this is going to be boring. Right, so these are a load of letters which, again, I kind of had cut with my Big Shot, and I've cut some with my friend's Big Shot, oh gosh, years and years and years ago, to use for scrapbooking. And we kind of like, you know, not swapped, but when we got together, we would cut each other's dies so that we had, you know, letters of letters we didn't have. Again, I'm probably not really going to use them now, because even if I was doing something scrapbooky, you know, I can always recut them or, you know, print them or something like that, to be honest. So I can probably just get rid of those. And then I've got some foam stamps of letters here, which again, I probably am not going to use those. So they can probably go to the school, or again, put them with my things to send out in, you know, in journals and things like that. So I'm going to just, you know, be strong and not really get too bogged down into this folder. And that whole folder is then going to go. So that's a massive thing off of my shelf now. Okay, right, the next folder, my gosh, looks really bulging at the seams. So, oh gosh, right, lots and lots of things in here. So, again, I mean, a lot of this probably can just be chucked straight away. Some of it I would use. So yeah, what I probably should do, I mean, a lot of these things, by the looks of things, are die cut pieces. So I might just take these out and put them into that box, kind of, but maybe keeping them in the pocket. Okay, so I've emptied out that whole folder now and put it into the box. So I've just got 2 more folders that I'm going to do today, and just, you know, more of the same really. So I'm going to, again, transfer these things into the box, and then we'll see how we're getting on. Okay, so this is my finished box. Obviously it's bursting at the seams, and, you know, probably I would definitely have to do more work with that. But just for the time being, that will do. So that's that stuff kind of gone from the shelf. I'm just going to go over to the shelf now. Okay, so I'm here back at the shelf, and I also had this great big file folder, which, to be fair, this has just got some printed fabric in it. So that definitely, you know, does not need to stay there. This one has got, you know, printed digital A4 sheets. So I will definitely keep that. Obviously, this side of the shelf I still need to come to. But to be honest, I'm probably losing the will to live a bit today, so I don't think I'm going to continue with that today. So I'm just now going to put some of my books on here. Well, if the stuff doesn't all just drop down first. And then at least it's actually kind of like cleared that pile of books that are currently sat on, well, actually on top of my daughter's kind of kitchen type stuff. So at least, you know, it gets them off of there really, which is all good. So I'm just going to pull them in. This, I think, is one that I've even altered, ready to make an altered book. So I should probably store that somewhere else, to be honest. Oops, I've got a cookbook for my daughter there. Well, not for her, but, you know, that is hers. I've got this, which, again, I bought this, I think, in a closing down sale somewhere, and, you know, I've yet to use that, so that can go there. And then I'm just going to put the rest of the books kind of a bit tidier on the shelf. So, I mean, honestly, it's just shocking how much stuff we just accumulate. I know I've said this before, but honestly, when I started making junk journals, I thought, oh, this is fantastic. You know, I'm going to get rid of some of my craft things, you know, and whittle down some of my stash. I actually hadn't really realised, but to be honest, it used very little of my stash. All that it ended up doing was me buying a whole bunch of other stuff, because of course, you know, the things that I had for my scrapbooking and card making, sorry, I'm just struggling to get another book that was kind of underneath something. The stuff that I had for card making and scrapbooking weren't then necessarily suitable for, you know, junk journals. So yeah, far from clearing space, it actually probably just, you know, accumulated even more stuff. Well, I know probably about it. It 100% accumulated just even more stuff. So, right, let's just get these books all in here. Oh, sorry, just struggling there with the one hand. I see some people do videos one-handed, and they just do the most awesome job. I have no idea how they achieve it, because yeah, I definitely cannot video one-handed, as you can see. But oh gosh, be able to squeeze that one in. I've got another encyclopedia here. I wonder whether... Okay, that one's kind of slightly more flexible, so going in a bit better. Right, okay. And then this I'm going to just slot up there for the moment. Obviously need to come back to that. Okay, right, so at least I have cleared that pile of books, which was the goal for today. And I've obviously got rid of quite a few of those folders, which is quite good news. So I thought whilst I'm here, I'm just going to quickly pull out one or two of these bits and see what's here. And look what I found. These are my Tim Holtz tiny stamps. I'm not sure what their actually official name is, but I've had these for years and mislaid them kind of, you know, in recent months and wondered how, you know, where they'd gone. That's where they were. So yeah, that's awesome. I will be putting these in my little drawers, you know, beside my desk so that I can go back to using those. So whilst I'm here, I thought, well, this is just crazy. I might as well just, you know, carry on and pull out the rest of the stuff that's on this shelf because, you know, otherwise I'm just kind of making a really big job of this and saving it all for another day. So just pulling out all of this stuff. So that back there, that's a kind of scrapbook. So I'm going to obviously leave that there. So I've got more card and I'm going to just keep the cards that I think. So obviously white, always really handy. So I'll just put that to one side. Whoops. Now the yellow I probably won't really use, so I'm just going to keep a couple of sheets of the yellow and that will do. I will keep a couple for my daughter, so I'm just going to make a pile for her and then I'm going to make a pile as well to give to the school. Then I've got brown. Again, brown is quite handy, I think, in journals, and the grey. So I'm going to keep that because they're really handy for backing journal cards and tags and things. Oh, it's more yellow, so more for the school. This lime green, again, I'm probably not really going to use that, so that can go to the school. Oh, some paper here. Oh, look, I've even covered this as cards. So, well, again, I should probably just get rid of that to the school because I have to just be strong. So, right, so I've got then more grey, brown, black. I've got this kind of sparkly looking navy blue. Again, I'm just going to give that to the school. Oh, some acetate. I have got quite a good supply of acetate going, so I'm going to give that to the school. Oh, another sheet of acetate. Honestly, I mean, it's shocking the stuff that you find. That pale pink's rather nice. And then I've got this gorgeous bright pink, which, although I'm probably not really likely to use this, I do absolutely love it. So I might have to keep that. I've got this black sort of corrugated card. Again, I might just keep that because, you know, that might be useful for, I don't know, if I did some mixed media or something. Not that I very often do that. Some red card there. Again, I mean, I can't remember what I kept the other week when I sorted through my coloured card. Chances are I probably kept some red, but I'll just put that to one side. Again, more black. I've got that sparkly black there. Again, you know, I'm not going to keep that, to be honest. I have used that in journals and things. It works okay, but I'll just keep that to one side. Okay, right. More paper there to the school. I've got this purple, which no doubt my daughter will love this. So I'll just give her a couple of sheets and then give the rest to the school. Oh, that green, absolutely love that colour green. Again, probably not really going to use it, so I'll just keep myself, you know, a couple of sheets of that and then give the rest to the school. Oh, more of the red. I think this is kind of different actually to the other red, so I'll just keep that and keep again the brown. I bought all this card when a store was closing down and they were selling it off really quite cheaply, so I thought, oh, I'm going to, you know, buy and buy so I don't really have to ever buy again. And of course this was in my card making days, so all that's happened really is it's now not really the type of stuff that I particularly use. So far from saving me money, it's kind of actually just wasted money. But you know, I'm sure that we all do things like that sometimes, where you think it's going to be, you know, awesome to have a really great supply of something, and then actually it turns out to have been, you know, just money wasted really because you don't ever use it. Right, so I have to say I have not whittled that down very much at all. That's my stash for the school and that's my little pile there for my daughter. Right, so I'm going to try and I think slot that back in at the end here. Then I have more stuff. So I've got some buff coloured scrapbook paper here, which of course I can now put in with my 12x12 papers because I can get to them really nicely. So, and obviously it's just getting, you know, crumpled up being in the cupboard, being on the shelf. So I've got a couple of file folders here. I mean, again, they're kind of blue and the green. Well, I guess I can make them work probably, so no point throwing those away. What have I got here? Oh, this was from making my Cinderella journal. This is all the leftover bits from that, so I should probably go through that and see, you know, what I could get rid of and what to keep. So I'll just put that to one side. Oh, more card. More card. So I'll again donate that to the school. I've got this really pretty textured card. I mean, again, I probably won't really use that if I'm truthful. Oh, I think my daughter would love that. So I've got this gingham, which I really do love. Oh, it's gingham with a pearly effect. Oh, perhaps I'll give that to my daughter as well. She'd love that. More bright colours. So again, to the school. Then I've got this pale blue, some pale pink. So, you know, I'll just keep those. Oh, don't you just love this colour? I don't think the camera's picking that up. It looks very blue. In real life, this looks much more green. It's really, really, really pretty. Right, so I will keep those and those. Right, let me try and slot those back on the shelf. Okay, so they are now on the shelf. So what I can do is obviously move some of my books down from, you know, the shelf here where they're all just kind of, you know, balanced on and kind of laying down and what have you. I can now put some of those on or in this shelf. So that's going to be a good job done. Oops. Goodness me. Honestly, I have no idea how these people do these videos one-handed. Well, completely beyond me how anyone does that. So, as you can see, I'm struggling. But hey, that's no surprise. I'm quite a clumsy person, as you know. So, you know, filming one-handed for me, that's just going to be a trial, isn't it? Okay, right. So that's much better. I can get to my books and things. Now, the other thing that came off the shelf was obviously this. And now I've looked in it. This was obviously a, you know, previous time when I thought I would get more organised. And I've kind of got just, you know, bits and pieces in here. So again, I'm going to just take this over to my desk and kind of go through this and see what's in here, what's in this Cinderella pack, and then try and tidy those bits up. Okay, so I'm here now with the bits that I've kind of pulled out. So I'm just going to move this to one side for a moment. And again, I've got kind of papers from kits and things. I've got some envelopes here. So, I mean, this was obviously before I'd got my, you know, system, she calls it. Very loosely speaking, my system. So now I keep my envelopes down in my little IKEA container thing beside my desk. So there straight away I've put those away. Then all of these pages and papers, I can obviously now put, I mean, obviously I can cut these out and have them in my, you know, ephemera box beside my desk. I've got one of those magazine files behind my desk for full sheet printables, so they can go in there. By the looks of things, these are some coin envelope things that I've got to obviously just glue together, so I can get on and obviously put those together. This is, oh, this is my Amongst the Amethyst kit, which, would you believe, I don't think I've really ever used to make a journal. I think it was one of my first ever kits, and yeah, just like with so many of these things, you know, it kind of just time escapes, and I, you know, never really got around to kind of making a journal myself. So I can cut out and salvage what I can from here. Obviously some of these are where I was obviously making the kit and kind of, you know, printing things. So some of it obviously will be thrown away and some will be kept. And this is leftovers from my Brilliant Birds kit. So again, I'll see what I can do, but a lot of these bits may be able to now just go into my ephemera type box that's beside my desk, to be able to kind of use those bits. I've got a couple of full-size pages there that obviously I can put with my full-size page pieces behind my desk. So I'm just going to pop these bits ready for, you know, putting on shelves and, you know, putting where they need to go. These are ready ready cut pieces, so I will just put those into my ephemera kind of box. Okay, so that's another folder then gone from that shelf, which is awesome. Let me just get that one out of the way. Okay, and then the final thing, which looks like it's full of a whole array of goodies, so who knows what's in here. But right, so I've got some pages from the Cinderella book. Then let's have a look. Oh, look, lots of pages from there. So, oh, they're really lovely, and I've coffee dyed those. So, right, well, I might have to do something with those. I should probably keep the cover because that would make a good journal cover. So, again, I need to kind of think where to put, you know, book covers that I keep to make journal covers from. At the moment, I'm just going to slot it in under my desk. So, right, so I've got these images, which, yeah, they're going to make nice things. Then these are, oh, what's this? Oh, I'll get rid of that one. Oops, more. And then these are a set by, I think it was Kanban. Kanban? Oh, now I'm not so sure. Yeah, I think it was Kanban. I might be wrong there. I've had it for a very long time. But of all these little die cut type pieces, oh look, little iridescent shoe there from the Cinderella journal. Okay, right, let's just, I mean, that was a long time ago that I made that journal, I have to say. So again, a lot of these, what I should do is probably pop them out, you know, and whilst I'm popping them out, kind of think, well, which bits am I going to really use and which bits aren't I going to use? And then for a start, they're going to be a lot easier to actually keep. I mean, again, by the looks of things, these really could probably go into my card making box rather than, you know, junk journaling. Although, I mean, things like this, if I wasn't going to use this makes a perfect mat, you know, for when we're kind of mounting, what's the word? Layering things, you know, that would be perfect for something like that. So I don't necessarily think that it's all card making-y. I think we could use quite a bit of this in our journal type projects. So just going to kind of tear around and, you know, just make this a little bit nicer to store. Because obviously whilst it's got all these little bits of the, you know, this, it just makes it very scruffy and messy to kind of store it anywhere. And then, you know, I mean, I'm building up bits every single week that I keep saying, oh, you know, more things to do projects with. And, you know, time then just gets away from me and I don't end up actually doing some projects. But all of these little bits we could make some future projects from. Well, not necessarily all of them, but lots of these bits already I can kind of see really good things that we could do quite a bit with. So just get rid of those. Okay, right, and any bits that are kind of intact, so like that, I mean, it stacks quite nice and neatly, so I don't really need to kind of now, you know, whittle that down further because it's actually, you know, sitting quite neat and tidy anyway. Oops, I've got another little shoe, this time a little glittery one. Okay, right, and just pop out these last couple of bits. Okay. Oops, flowers, little wine bottle. So, I mean, again, I probably wouldn't really use the wine bottle in my journals, you know. I don't know really whether I would even use it on cards, but I just, you know, might as well just pop it out anyway. And then I have the option, don't I? So, oops, more things here. More. I'm a sucker for these kinds of packs, to be honest. I can never resist buying them. I mean, as I say, I've had this for, you know, years and years, to be honest, but I don't know why I just always can't help myself but buy them. But they seem so interesting, I think, with all the little bits and pieces. Right, so that's kind of much more, you know, manageable to store now. So I'm going to slip this back into this little pocket. And then I'm going to put this under my desk in the magazine file in this pocket, which hopefully will keep it all together. And then hopefully when I get time, we will do a project using some of these little bits and pieces, you know, inside our journals, because that would, you know, be a really good use of the paper, wouldn't it, to use. And then these bits, well, again, I haven't really got a clue what to do with these, so perhaps I will tuck these again in with that same pocket, and then when we come to use those, then we might use up some of these as well. So yeah, I mean, I've still got the pile of things from last week's Tidy Friday sat on my desk waiting to use, you know, to make some projects from there. But, you know, sorry, I've just banged my head. I've got a slopey ceiling, so as I stood up, I just caught my head on the ceiling. My hair clipped it anyway. Yeah, so hopefully, you know, we're doing some good and getting some progress done. So definitely feeling really good about the progress that's being made so far. And yeah, I just now need to put the stamps into my little drawers, and then I think we're kind of done really for today. So thank you so much for watching, and hopefully it might have inspired you to, you know, go through some of your craft supplies. And yeah, thank you so much, and have a fab week, everyone, and I will see you next Friday for more craft organisation. Or obviously before then I upload kind of every day with craft videos. So thank you so much for watching, and see you guys soon. Thanks then. Bye.